It's never an easy topic to discuss or think about, but it is an essential. But what does make it easier is when you get to chat with an established business who have over 70 years of local experience. We're joined today by Larry Davis, the managing partner at Bunker's Memory Garden, to share their news on their expansion and latest garden beautification. So Larry, thank you for joining me.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
It's a pleasure. I mean, let's talk more about this. I mean, obviously, the cemetery, what it's all about and what the actual purpose of it is, but you guys have not only like the oldest and most established cemetery in the Las Vegas area, but you have this expansion happening right now. Talk to us a little bit about this, what turns out to be basically a beautiful garden that you guys are building.
Right.
What is happening there right now?
So this is out at our cemetery at Memory Gardens, and the new garden is called Sunrise Grove. And the idea was to have a smaller footprint that allows for traditional burial, cremation, placement, and also allows for families. Sometimes family members, some want to have traditional burials, and sometimes some people want to be cremated. This allows them all to be in the same space, cremated remains, and also casket burials.
Now we're looking, the viewers at home are looking at some of these incredible pictures right now, and the plans, as you guys are still finishing up. You said yesterday the sod was laid down.
The sod just went down yesterday.
So
yes.
it's taking development. I'm curious, who comes up with the idea? Do you guys meet with landscapers? Do you meet with designers? What part of the businesses do you guys combine and say, we want some beautiful flowers here? How does that work developing it?
We actually have a landscape architect that we work with, and he brings up concepts, and we sit down and look at them and talk, and there's a lot of change that happens and moving them around, and until we feel that we have the right footprint for people to be able to have a nice garden.
When you're developing this and designing this and thinking about this whole development, is this expansion because of demand from families? Was this something you guys were planning? You talked about a small footprint. What was the process? Was it more demand or more that you guys wanted to have this separate new area and space?
It's definitely more demand, and it's what families are looking for. And so we listen to what our families say and what we hear, and we kind of put those concepts together also. And some of it is just historically what we have done that has provided a safe place and a nice place for families to come visit their loved ones.
Yeah, you talk about the history of your family business. You talk about people coming to visit. There are some famous cemeteries around the country, in Illinois, where Lincoln's buried, and people go there to visit the monument and to walk around and spend some time in the cemetery, because a lot of these cemeteries can be stunningly beautiful places, beautiful trees, lots of things going on. That's clearly something that's evidently important to you. Are you guys privileged and feel very proud of what you've built and accomplished over the last 70 years with that kind of beautification?
We absolutely do, and one of the things with Memory Gardens is it goes back to the 1950s, and so it was once upon a time a cemetery out in the middle of really nowhere,
right?
And it's a small cemetery, and the city has grown up around it, but it's still that really beautiful, quaint, small cemetery, and it's really families do come and visit there, and they appreciate the fact that it's so well kept up and taken care of.
It's almost an oasis or an escape for some people. Can people go out and do private tours? Can they just turn up? Is there someone who can show them around, to show them what trees have been planted? How old and established places are?
They can absolutely come in. We have people who walk through the cemetery every day, but they can come into the office and meet with any of the family service counselors to get more information and come talk about this garden that we're putting in.
Finally, it can be a little bit uncomfortable for families to approach, end of life and the next step for people. But why is it important for people to have plans in place to talk to people like yourself about the next stage?
It's so important to tell your family or your friends what it is that you want, because it doesn't leave everyone in a quandary when the death happens because of not knowing. And even if it's just something as simple as I want to be buried, or I do want to have a cremation, is a huge help to families when there's been a conversation about what you want. And I think it's important to have that conversation.
Yeah, it's definitely a load off. Well, thank you so much, Tyler,
Thank you.
for coming in. For more information, visit bunkerslv.com.